Seth Speaks, The Eternal Validity of the Soul by Jane Roberts, read by Martin John, continuation of the final part, Appendix, Session 593, August 30, 1971, 9:06 p.m. Monday. Now, for our appendix. The great religions of the world all had their births near the major coordination points. See Chapter 5. In such localities, changes are apt to appear rapidly, for ideas and emotions are propelled into physical actuality with great vigor. Ideas sweep like fire among the people. The psychic atmosphere is fertile. Creativity springs forth easily, and so such locations are not necessarily peaceful, although they would be the best ground in which peace could grow. Any ideas, for good or bad, become materialized with such strength, however, that the contradictory feelings of mankind are more apparent near coordination points. There are effects not as yet understood by your scientist, that appear in such areas, effects that were known, however, in the time of Atlantis, and also utilized by the Lemurians. In a strange manner, space puckers to an unobservable degree, as far as your instruments are concerned, near these coordination points. Some of my readers may be familiar with black and white holes in space that your scientists have recently discovered. These points have somewhat the same qualities. The electromagnetic aspects of thoughts and emotions, the animations, are drawn through points that can compare to miniature black holes. Here their energy momentarily disappears from your system, is immeasurably accelerated, however, and returned through what you might call a miniature white hole, concentrated now and highly directed back into your system of reality. This is only an analogy, but for working purposes it is a fair enough one. There is, again, a wrinkling effect about these points, though not as yet observable to you, where space itself, it seems, yearns to disappear inside the first point. There are other distortions in physical laws. A few of these have been observed, but ignored as pertinent signs. The activities of atoms and molecules quicken as they approach these points, but the distance between the atoms and molecules remains the same. This is important. These coordination points also serve to give your system additional sources of energy. The law of entropy does not apply, therefore. The coordination points are actually, then, sources of additional energy. They only open, however, when concentrations of energy built up within your system. I would like to make the idea clearer. A physical vehicle, a spaceship, for example, could never survive that kind of exit and re-entry from your system. In Atlantis, there were those who utilized this knowledge, accelerating certain thoughts through concentration, emphasizing certain feelings so as to send them through these coordination points. Great stability was therefore achieved as far as roads, buildings, and the like were concerned. Such projects were carried out with great consideration for their position between various coordination points. This pocketing of space effect can be perceived in certain trance states. This can be compared almost to a wadding up of air. Now sit quietly with your eyes closed and try to ascertain the directional proximity of main or subordinate coordinational points. Here are some aids to help you. With the intent in mind, you will find your inner vision inclining toward a particular direction of the room, and even your thoughts will seem to follow in the same direction. An imaginary line will help you properly identify the place in any given location, closest to any given coordination point. Imagine a line drawn from the point of your inner vision coming from the inner eye you seem to be using outward. Let it be joined by an imaginary line from the top of your skull, following the same direction in which your thoughts seem to flow. You have an imaginary line, then, in this case, from here and here. There is an angle, and then both lines form together. They will point unerringly to the direction closest to a coordination point. The subordinate points permeate space. Rupert will be able to tell you, for example, the nearest point in this room. Sometimes the angle will be longer, but the two lines will point in the right direction. Energy is, therefore, most effective in those areas. Using this analogy of the white hole and the black hole to make this clearer, the white hole is within the black hole. Do you follow me? Electromagnetic properties are drawn into the black hole and accelerated beyond imagination. The acceleration and the activities within the black hole draw unbelievable proportions of additional energy from other systems. This greater acceleration changes the very nature of the units involved. In the meantime, the characteristics of the black hole itself are changed by this activity. A black hole is a white hole turned inside out, in other words. The electromagnetic matter may re-emerge through the same hole or point, which is now a white hole. The re-emergence, however, again alters its characteristics. It becomes hungry once more and again, a black hole. The same sort of activity goes on in all systems. The holes, therefore, or coordination points, are actually great accelerators that re-energize energy itself. We will end this material for this evening. Put a note after the material on coordination points, indicating the appendix. This is not our book. This is the appendix to our book. My heartiest good wishes to you and a fond good evening.